So that's me having to pay for all of those lessons. And it was like, okay, so next year I'll start my business. So I kept pushing it back. But thank goodness my daughter graduated high school. She went on to college. And so that freed up a little bit of my money.
Commas on commas, they don't want no drama. I'm fighting this trauma. I'm bright as Obama. They told me the ticket. I told her no problem. She saw how I kick it. Ain't making no promise. She put on that Fenty and hopped in a Honda. The man in my city ain't trying to be modest. She met me out back with that shit from her mama. I'm trying to relax, but she trying to get fondled. She say she don't mean to act like a groupie. Patience is a virtue she ain't using. Baby, watch your step, cause it's a doozy. Money by the roll, it look like sushi. Passionate, infatuation, choosy. Graduate from average a movie. Activate your appetite and lose it. Allocate your salivation to me. I got that shit that she want and she know. Yeah, why would I lie? Yeah, ain't nothing personal. Feelings aside, I knew I had it a minute ago. Yeah, taking my time. I know it's hurting you. Pray you survive. Walk on water, baby. Walk on water, too crazy. Walk on water, baby. Walk on water, too crazy. What they gon' do with me? How I been coming? I can't do no wrong. I put my foot on they neck, gotta show me respect, gotta make sure my presence is known. I ain't felt nothing but power, and lately these hours get later, you know how it go. Came from the back with my pride all intact, and my time in immaculate tackling pros. Oh yeah, know you better act right. Oh yeah, know I got an appetite. Oh yeah, know the whole click right. Oh yeah, never let shit slide. Oh yeah, know I gotta get right. Oh yeah, walk up in the pit light. Oh yeah, we ain't let shit slide. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I got that shit that she want and she know. Yeah, why would I lie? Yeah, ain't nothing personal. Feelings aside, I knew I had it a minute ago. Yeah, taking my time. I know it's hurting you. Pray you survive.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Big Dad Radio Show. I am your host, Andreas, and as you see, I'm here on location again on Heath Road at Girlz Dayz Inn with the owner, founder, proprietor, Miss Crystal Moore. So thank you for allowing me to come into your space.
And thank you for coming.
Oh yeah, just prior to the camera, Crystal been knowing about Big Dad Radio Show for like 4 years now or something like that. So
and super excited he's here. Never thought he'd be here with me. So oh my goodness, I'm super excited and so happy he came to see me.
I just thought that was fascinating. Sometimes it's easy for me to get the milestone accomplishments.
Yes.
Because I'm in a daily grind. I'm just pushing more or whatever.
Of course.
But I get that like reaction a lot from folks when they're like, "Oh man, I met you in blah blah. You're up here." I'm like, no. First of all, we're all like, I get it, what you're saying, but I don't like look at myself above because
that's right.
If I did, I wouldn't like be interviewing just regular folks.
And I'm so thankful that you are. Your platform is so important and so needed.
And that's what a lot of people tell me.
Truly
but that's why I did it though. Well, it started out with just artists, but then I expanded it because I ran through artists like within 2 months of doing it because I was doing interviews like twice a week, putting it out. And I was like, let me expand this because I was like too niched in. So now I love doing the business people and entrepreneurs, especially if they have a physical location. Because I get to come in, I get to get some B-roll footage, I get to see how.
And by the way, I just learned what that meant. So thank you.
And really get to dive into what took them to get there. So with that being said, let's start. You said this was a 7-year process for you.
Yes.
Of notes and research, hours. What I like to even know before then. So does like entrepreneurship run in the family, or are you the first one?
My grandfather, who we call Pappy, he first started his business called the Middleton Brothers Construction Company.
Okay.
My family's originally from Bellevue. Okay. And so when he started that...
You mean the area that's
in Macon?
Okay,
yes.
okay. Yeah.
And so when he started that business, being a man that was biracial, he did not have the help that would have been given to him from a person who was white. So he made a way for himself. And so with that being said, to him and my uncles, including my grandfather Cedric Middleton, they all helped him. Those are his sons. And so I guess you can say a little bit of that came through, because I have cousins as well who are cooks, who are chefs, who are painters, who are barbers. I mean, like, my family, there's no limit to what they could potentially become. And they try it, and they exceed in it, and they move forward with it. And so I love it. And so I guess you could say, looking at them kind of put that fire in me. And so I'm thankful. I'm thankful to my family. I'm thankful to my cousins.
So what was it that like pushed you over to the edge to actually like, you know, run out there and do it then? Because, you know, one, this particular, well, we can get into this as well. So I guess it's a twofold question. What pushed you over to the edge, like, you know what, I'm really going to do it? Because when I encounter a lot of different entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, especially the aspiring entrepreneurs, they have plans, like you said, they sit on ideas for like years, but they're fearful, right? And they have to have something that really like, okay, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. What was it for you that really like just pushed you like, you know what, I'm just going to do it regardless of, you know, because sometimes you can tell your ideas to other people and they can project their fears onto you. And, you know, you start to feel doubt and insecurity, which is like one of the worst things an entrepreneur or even an aspiring entrepreneur can have. So what was it that really did it? And then on top of that, why, you know, Girlz Day in?
Okay, what made me decide to say, you know what, I'm going to go full blast with this idea. Being a single parent, you are not afforded the wealth as someone who's married, who has a 2-parent household. So I did a lot of sacrifice. I did a lot of compromise with myself to make sure that my daughters had whatever they needed, whatever they could have, you know, for me. So when my girls got a little bit older, I was like, you know, I'm going to start this business this year. I'm going to start it this year. But every time I said I was going to start it, something else happened. And the girls, this daughter wanted to run track. This daughter wanted to be in the band. This daughter wanted to go swimming. So that's me having to pay for all of those lessons. And it was like, okay, so next year I'll start my business. So I kept pushing it back. But thank goodness, my daughter graduated high school. She went on to college. And so that freed up a little bit of my money. And so I said, you know, and she actually came to me and she was like, Mom, you have been talking about this business for years. Now is your time. And so I was like, are you sure? She was like, Mom, yes, go for it. I did everything I could to help her get to where she is in college. And she is, and I'm so proud of her. And so when she said that to me, I was like, you know what, Crystal? If your daughter is telling you it's time for you to live your dream after you've helped her get into college, it is time. And so she went with me. We went looking at locations, and so found this location, and I was nervous, as anyone would be, because you consider something your baby, and you don't want no one to talk about it. You don't want no one to pass judgment on it. You only want positivity. And so I was nervous if it was not seen the way that I would like for it to be seen. And so my daughter, she's of this day and age, so she says, Mom, who cares what anyone thinks? You won't know what you can do until you do it. My child. Smart young woman. And I said, you know what, you're absolutely right. I raised you well. And so, step out on faith, and I move forward with it. And I have been so thankful for the positive responses I have been getting from the ladies, as well as their daughters. Little girls check in, they don't want to leave. I love that. That means I'm doing an awesome job of taking care of other people's children. And so, even with the adult ladies that rent the venue, they tell me they had a great time, and I love hearing it. The entire concept behind Girlz Dayz In came from years ago, being a single parent, once again, sacrificing to make sure the girls had everything they needed. And one of my daughter friends may have to go to her friend's birthday party, and this child's mother may have spent God knows how much money. So what children do when they see something like that? I want that too, my birthday coming. I'm like, baby, her mama is married. She has a husband. That's 2-income household. Mama just got her own income. And so, but I couldn't say that to my child. So instead, what do I have to do as a single parent? Make a way. One thing about us women, no matter what color, we make a way for our children. And so that involves sacrificing what I have to make sure that my child has even something she don't need, but in that moment, she doesn't understand that. And so I came from that era of sacrifice, the old saying, robbing Peter to pay Paul, just to make sure my child had it. And I was like, I wish there was a place that understood us ladies, because we wear so many different hats. We are literally doctors, lawyers, nurses without ever stepping foot into a college. We are born with that in us. We are so much more than we give ourselves credit for, because we provide for our family. We provide for everyone that comes in contact with us. And so I said, I wish there was a place that understood that. And I said, you know what, if I ever given a chance, I would create it. This was years ago when I said that to myself. And so that's what started my first notebook. Like I said, altogether, I have about 10 notebooks of ideas that I wrote for Girlz Dayz in. So over the course of these 7 years, all of my notebooks filled with ideas for this place that never even existed, but what I could do with this space, what I could transform this space to potentially become, the different party packages I would have for people, children, where a mom would have to spend thousands of dollars to entertain her child, because she still has to go back to her everyday life. And so to understand a woman's plight is something that I think the world is trying to figure out. But then again, too, we have had our setback with Roe versus Wade. So it's like they're trying to figure it out, but then they don't want to figure it out. So it's like, as a woman, what do you do? Move forward. What we always do. We just move forward. Brashia, move forward. And so with Girlz Dayz in, it is just that it's for ladies to have the space. I call it the ultimate female cave, for adult ladies to come in and entertain themselves. If the ladies decide to rent the venue, I have a chef as an add-on where the ladies, like I said, they can do a sip and paint or a girls' night. And if they choose chef services, he will come in, cook, prepare, and serve the ladies. Or the ladies can decide to say, you know, I want to have a birthday party for my daughter. They can come here, one-stop shop. I have different party packages that I personally came up with within these last 7 years. Altogether, I have about 45 party packages, literally. But on my website, I think I only list about 10, because it's to see how it goes.
Well, you also don't want information overload either.
That's right. That's right. And every party package is the Girlz Dayz in for children is the pre-slumber party experience. And so you come see me, whatever party package you pick for your daughter, every party package comes with an activity, because you can't go to a slumber party without an activity, girl code. And so whether the activity is lip gloss making, cupcake decorating, BFF bracelet making, painting, and every party package comes with a mini mani, mini pedi, a glam session, which is glitter eyeshadow, glitter tattoo, and sticker earrings, because the girls need to feel glamorous, because they are. They are young divas. And so exuding in their excellence, letting them see who they are, and also to encouraging conversation. Working with the board of education, I see a lot of young girls that come in that are so quiet and so reclusive, they don't have the opportunity to speak. At Girlz Dayz in, when I do these princess parties, it's also to encourage the girls to have conversations. A lot of students will come their 9th grade year and are so reclusive, and then 10th, 11th, 12th grade year given the peer pressure. You can be under peer pressure without knowing you're under peer pressure. And so it all starts with conversations. It all starts with being seen. As a female, when you are not seen, you kind of say or treat yourself that way and be invisible. You're not invisible. And so Girlz Dayz in is that place for young girls to come and be seen, to be heard, to be motivated. And whatever it is that you potentially have inside of you, I want to help magnify it 100%. Even if I say, one of my party packages, I have something simple as cupcake decorating. I say channel your inner baker. Because even though it's something simple as cupcake decorating, but that's something simple, I put different colors in front of the student or child. Red, yellow, green, purple. Now, every color represents a feeling, an emotion. So if this child decorates this cupcake in chocolate, which is black, not saying black is bad, of course, but she's telling me that she's feeling dark. So she's telling me something's a little uneasy. Now, even though it's just chocolate, but she went straight to that color. So that's her mood for that moment. And so now I know to give her a little bit more attention, to talk a little bit more with her, without the other girls knowing that she just kind of sort of told me how she's feeling.
That's what's up. I like that. So your target audience, is it mainly just young girls, or do you do like all the way up to high school?
For high school kids, it would be more so them just renting the venue.
Okay.
And so if the high school girls wanted to do a Sweet 16, it's so much pink in here, and it's so girly, so they can of course rent the venue and do as they feel is appropriate for them, via their parent, and enjoy themselves. So for high school kids, I don't have particular party packages because high school kids range from the age of 15 to 19. I have to say that. So it's due to be more so with those age groups just renting the venue. And so for ages 14 to 4 years old to 14 years old, the different princess party packages. And for adult ladies, renting the venue as well and having a girls' night. And I call that Girls' Days In After Dark because for adult ladies, I will stay open until 12 a.m. And so they can rent the venue and have a girls' night in a good, clean space that they create. Once again, it's all about the environment you create. So you're not going to put yourself in an environment that is harmful. You're not going to create an environment for yourself that is harmful. So once you step foot inside of these doors, you're creating your atmosphere. You're creating your fun. And I trust that no one wants to danger themselves because, again, we're not a cat. We don't have 9 lives.
Yeah. That is true. So when you open the space, because you said it's a year, right?
A year.
Or 2 years
What do you
being
mean?
in the space.
3.
Well, no. Okay, so how long has the space been open?
It's almost a year.
Okay, it's almost going on a year.
In October.
And how has the community received the space, especially you going after your target demographic? Have they been welcoming to it, supporting you? Some, maybe sometimes you might get phone calls, whatever, and they're a little hesitant and all that. How's it been for you?
It's I can, to be honest to say, I have been received well far as this area. And so I can say I have been received well. They'll call and want to come in, of course, and take a view. And then it's like once they meet me and come in, I don't know, they just tell me how much they love my personality and they love the space, how it's decorated, and they want to book. So
yeah, no, I definitely can receive that because when I walked in or whatever, I'm like, you're right here sitting on the couch waiting for me to come in and all that. Hey, how you doing? And then talking as we're, I'm getting the B-roll footage. So I definitely can get that. And I feel business now, especially small businesses, it's not about the service or product that you're offering or the goods or whatever to the community. It's more about can they connect with you as a person, and that's why they really support.
And when I was younger with my sisters, we wanted to go out of town. Of course, every lady wants to go out of town on her birthday with her girlfriends or maybe her significant other and have a good time. So I remember going out with my friends and my sister years ago, because that's many moons ago. And as a woman, you get dressed, you get your makeup done, you get your hair done, you get your lashes done, you go and buy the nice outfit, the nice shoes, your nails, your toes. Everything has to look good. So now on yourself, you probably spend almost $400 to $500. Then you turn around and the car. Now all of us either decide are we carpooling together, driving your own vehicle, either way how it goes. That's gas money. No, we're gonna rent a party bus. Everybody chips in. That's more money. Okay? And so get to the restaurant, VIP or valet parking. I'm sorry, valet parking at a restaurant. So now I pay to valet park. Go inside the restaurant. You are seated. Your meal may cost you God knows how much.
Depending on how many people are there.
How many people, God knows how much. And so then if you guys decide to have several drinks, it may turn into, well, we need to stay the night because we can't drive back intoxicated.
Yeah.
So that's more money.
Responsible thing to do.
Yes. So that's more money with everyone deciding, well, let's just chip in and get a room for the night, all of us. Being responsible, you don't want to drive back intoxicated. And so there's more money being spent. So when you get up in the morning and you're like headed back home, you get home and what happens? Check the mailbox. Oh, darn, I forgot this bill was due. And you just spent all of that money the day before to have a good time for your birthday. That has happened to me. And so I know this happened to other women as well. And it's funny because it's like, oh my God, why did I do that yesterday? I knew I had this bill to pay, but I still went and did this and spent money on all of this. And it's like, oh, that just wasn't responsible for one. And for two, that's why I was like, I wish there was a place here in Macon that I didn't have to go and spend all of that money and I could just come right back home. And so for adult ladies, Girls Days In, it's just that they don't have to spend thousands of dollars to rent the venue to have a good time. I designed it to be very friendly to a woman's budget. So renting a venue, they can still step foot in and have the glamorous good time they deserve and step out and still go on with their everyday life without having to say, why did I spend that extra money yesterday? You see?
Yeah.
And so, once again, understanding a woman's plight.
Yeah.
Firsthand.
Have you met any others or seen where people are trying to like duplicate what you're doing or been inspired?
No. I mean, I'm inspired by other women entrepreneurs. Not so much, I haven't met anyone who's doing exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
But I am inspired by other women entrepreneurs. I have met some, since I have started this business aspect and this social media, I say journey, because it is a journey navigating through these waters. And I have met some very, very lovely women from Crystal Rebellious collection, the owner Crystal Harnett, which she get these earrings came from her. Fabulous earrings. Miss Lisa Lowe, she owns Lisa Lowe Studios. Very fabulous young woman. Courtney Waters, she owns Girl Factor here in Macon.
I interviewed Courtney.
She's phenomenal. All of the ladies are phenomenal women. Carrie Ann Walden, she owns Posh Boutique here in Macon. So it's so many women who are exuding in their excellence. And I top my hat off to all of them. And I love it. I love it. It's black women who are doing something positive for their family and their community. And not only are they driven, so driven, they love it. Now, it's one thing to be driven just to be going, but to have a passion behind that drive, oh, you are a force to be reckoned with.
No, I definitely agree with that. So, like, what's one thing that you learned about being an entrepreneur, business owner, that you necessarily didn't think, you would like, or that you don't like?
Well, one thing I do like as an entrepreneur is helping. I love helping individuals the best way I can, giving honest advice. I'm a very spiritual person, and so giving honest advice in a polite way, in an understandable way. And working with children, I really love. Shaping young girls into their potential, I really love. Helping them understand themselves, I really love. My mother passed away when I was 7 years old, and my grandmother raised me. And so growing up, I had to learn a lot of life through life, if that makes sense. And so, because my grandmother, she's old-fashioned. She was strictly church home. So there wasn't any gray area. So I learned life through life. And so that, it helped me. It helped me learn a lot. And so with other young girls, to be that mentor, to show them and navigate them, I feel it's my duty as an adult. And so that's what I love. I love that. The downside, is, people don't say this, but say when you first start a business, you definitely don't want to quit your job. You want to keep your job. Because when you first open any business, even though you want it to take off running, it doesn't quite work that way.
No, it does not.
Yeah, that's not realistic. So you definitely want to keep your job to cover any expenses with your business. It will fluctuate, but it'll work out for the best. You just have to stay at it. You can't give up with your dream. You cannot give up, and it will take off. So, and another downside is trying to make everyone happy. That's impossible.
Yes. And
so I am learning that now. You have people say anything, smart things, such as the price or their own suggestions on your business. And so you take it and politely say thank you, because that's what you're supposed to do. And that can be, not necessarily a downside, but it can be a downside, because it's like, okay, well, I take their criticism, and you take it and you consider it. You just move forward with it, because everyone has an opinion. And that's all you can do. But for the most part, I love what I do. I love working with children. I love helping with ladies. And I think God has truly woke me up in my purpose. And I plan to continue walking in my purpose. Best I can, anyway.
So where do you set goals for your business? And if so, have you been able to accomplish those goals?
Yes, I did. When I first opened, I had set a goal to myself, and it was a simple goal. I said, you know what? My plan is to have at least 5 parties booked 1 month. And I say, oh, that's not going to happen. But I set the goal anyway. And I had a young lady. She made me a flyer. And she's awesome, Miss Star. She's so awesome. And she made me a flyer and put the flyer out. And not only did I get more feedback than I expected, I actually booked those 5 parties. But it was a lot of advertising going with it, which means there's a lot of me paying out. So to be honest, I actually broke even. So profit goals, even though I set that goal to have those 5 parties, the money back from the parties, I broke even.
That advertising and breaking even and stuff. Actually, you're on the right path considered most of them, right? Because I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in our community, and the fact that you even said paying for advertising makes me feel good as an entrepreneur, because I know that you're on the right path to achieving the ultimate goals and like expanding, right? Because if you don't want to expand and things of that nature, it's not really no point to have a business. Just make it a hobby. But a business is supposed to expand. You're supposed to always grow and get to the biggest, point that you possibly can get to before, you plateau out and, diversify even more. But like a lot of us, not me, but, just in our community, we look at advertising and marketing as an expense when it's really an investment in your brand and your business.
That is so true. Much needed.
Yeah, it is much needed. Because if you think about, I recently went to 41 NBC, this here, or WGMT, or whatever it is, the 41 station. I don't have TV anymore. I haven't hit K1 like years, over a decade. But anyway, yeah, that's just my thing. But that particular news station had this business workshop the other day, and I went to it. And I was looking at the numbers. TV is still like really good as far as bringing in leads and overall credibility and when it comes to advertising and all that stuff. And when they were breaking down the numbers, I was like, yeah, it's expensive or whatever, but the return on investment is really there if you stick with it. And that's where like a lot of us get confused with any forms of advertising and stuff. It's about letting people know that you exist.
That's so true.
And if you're not doing that, people don't know, you can't expect sales.
So you're going to have to spend. As an owner of a business, you're going to have to spend.
Yeah.
And so I would honestly say my first year of business, if I had to say profit, I would say I've spent more on advertisement than anything. And which because it's a brand new business.
Well, that's typical though for okay. I could just break it down for you real quick, right? This is what I do. Not only am I a podcast person, but serial entrepreneur, been in business since 2005. Your first couple of years, you're not gonna really break even. You want to try to break even around your 3rd year or so. But you're gonna spend, as a new business owner, you should be spending around up to 25% of your operating budget on advertising.
So true.
Now, as you get bigger and better, you'll be able to decrease that. This is the original point I was going to go back to with the advertising. Even big companies spend it. And in that workshop, they had showed where during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, 2 major companies did 2 different solutions, 2 different things. Procter & Gamble doubled down on their advertising budget, and Coca-Cola let go of theirs as far as they reduced theirs.
Oh, wow.
Procter & Gamble increased their profit margins, I think up to about 20-something%. Coke lost, and when we're talking about those percentages, we're talking about multi-billion-dollar companies. So that's
correct.
A lot of money.
That's so true.
It's in the millions, hundreds of millions actually. Coca-Cola CEO admitted that they did the wrong thing, and that it's going to take them 5 years to get back to the market share that they had, even with them spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising right now. Now, me personally, I thought they would have learned this lesson a while ago, but apparently none of the executives go back and look at the history. They did the same thing, I would say, about, it was over 20-something years ago, whatever, when they did it. Because I had to study the Coke Wars. Basically, there was Coke and Pepsi going at it, the 100-year war that they had in campaign. where they were
battling with getting different celebrities to be spokespersons.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
So the blind taste Pepsi challenge and all that stuff, whatever. That's considered the Coke Wars or the Soda Wars, or however you want to say it. At that time, they did the same thing during that period of that 100-year history, where an executive at Coca-Cola thought it was cool to not spend money that whole week, and Pepsi ate up their sales. And I'm like, that's why I try to tell folks, when you stop marketing, other people start to take your market share. It doesn't just stay there for you to pick it back up. But
then also goes back to who's ever on their board of vision. So someone on their board of vision, some CFO, some CEO, someone approved that. And so it goes back to also what I said about having the passion to be driven. Not everyone is cut out for entrepreneurship. They may wake up in the morning and think that this is for them, or say this is for me, but then you are not ready to sacrifice and put in the work, because whomever made that decision and again repeated that decision clearly was someone in my mind that was not actually focused and driven and done their homework.
Yeah, I believe there's 2 different executives that made those decisions, but
and it could have been passed
as
down.
high-level executives, you should know the history of prior executives, because I'm like, you have the history there. You have access to all the information.
And it could have been someone who got the job from knowing someone.
It
could. There are so many different factors in companies like that. Which we have legacy children.
Yeah, we do.
It could have been a legacy child. And so with that being said, they're not going to do their homework. No. They're just going to want to prove to others that I have a place in this company.
So you met your goals of doing like the 5 parties in a month. What are your new goals, and are you on your way to achieving them?
I am. My new goals are this summer that's coming up. I want to officially, I was going to do it last year, but working for the Board of Education takes so much of my time because that's my primary job. Girlz Dayz is my secondary. And so this summer coming up, I'm going to put 100% of my focus into my summer camp program for girls.
Okay.
And it will all be about empowerment for young girls. I have so much to teach the girls, especially, like I said, in suiting in their excellence, understanding who they are, understanding peer pressure. I have so much that I want to experience with the girls. And so my new goal that I set up is this summer for Girlz Dayz open a summer camp for them, as well as I want to do a mentorship program with the girls where I want other young ladies in the community to come in one Thursday out of the month and mentor the girls out. There's another program I want to start for moms of single parent households to be able to come and have access to resources to help their financial household income situation. And so I'm going to be partnering with Buck Melton Center. And so for any moms that are unemployed that would like to be employed, we can assist with that, as well as assist with housing, assist with clothing, any personal needs the ladies may have for their household, so even some simple as toiletries and things like that. We need that monthly, and a lot of women can't afford that in their monthly budget.
You need to partner with making periods easier with the toiletries. You've heard of that?
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
There's a place on Mercer that God is so wonderful. I met this woman by accident. Well, no, God doesn't do anything by accident. And I met her, and she was saying how they have a food closet, and no one is taking the opportunity to come in and get anything. And I said,
There's also
really?
a food pantry over at Booker T too, with Gerard Eccles with the Melanin Community Stimulation Project.
That is so interesting. See, those type of entities we need to really flood our community with.
Yeah, well, I do my part or whatever, but hey, sometimes because I'm around so much and I do so much.
You are very busy.
Yeah.
Very
well,
busy.
Not that part, yeah, but sometimes when I put information out there myself, it's not received the same way as it should be because of all the stuff that I do. And
that's
like,
right.
Like you said with like the difference in, that's how people like look at one another. I understand that's how people look at one another. I don't look at people like that, but when people see other people doing so much, they might feel intimidated by someone who can do so much or know so much or is connected so many ways.
Makes sense.
That they don't want to receive the information that that person is giving. They'll want to just brush it off or whatever.
Makes sense.
So yeah.
Even though it shouldn't But
yeah, it shouldn't, but you know, it does.
Sense. And so I'm sorry that you have to go through that.
No, you know, it was part of the game.
Well, at least you understand it.
Yeah,
and you're still moving forward.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
You know, I made a post, like, if you would see my Facebook post, I made a post not too long ago about how since 2005 I've always had other people that, when I started working with people individually within a certain industry, so like I do music, I've been advocating for independent artists ever since I started. And I'll get them going or whatever, and then other people approach them or whatever. So it's just been this constant thread of every time I'm working with somebody, putting resources behind them, and people see that they're connected to me.
Awesome.
They approach them and they whisper in the ear and promise them, you know, land of honey and milk or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, I don't. If someone wants to go listen to someone else, cool.
That's
you
right.
can move on your way.
That's
just
right.
have the decent courtesy to at least tell me that's what you want to do, as opposed to me finding out about it through, you know, other means or whatever.
Well, that goes to understanding human behavior. That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know.
Human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Once you understand human behavior, when you are shown that type of behavior, you accept it and you move forward. And when I say accept, you have to, because you can't go and tell someone, hey, why didn't you? Even if you do, that's just too confrontational. And it's not going to end well. So
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
But
you know, the interesting thing is, like, a lot of those people, you know, they're nowhere to be found right now. So, you know, that's my joy, and you know,
oh my
I'm a little petty. Well, no, I'm not a little petty. I'm a lot of petty. Like, I did an interview with one of my podcast hosts, and she interviewed me, and I don't know when it's coming out or whatever, but that's one of the things that people who know me. Oh, I can be extremely petty, but you know. It is what it is. I'm going, like, I draw lines, right? You're either going to be on the fence with me or you're not. Or not the fence, but you're either going to be on the side with me or you're not. I'm not like lukewarm or anything like that. There's no in between with me.
That's right.
Either I'm going to support you or I'm not. So you show me who you are, and that's how I respond. So if you're supportive, I'm going to do everything in my power to help push you. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done it with other people, and it's just... that's like my own internal thing. I want to see us win, especially in our community. So I'm going to do everything in my power to put people in a position to win.
That's right.
Because I know I'm winning, and I'll keep winning. So why not, like, you know, use that baton to, you know, pass it down or whatever, and guide them along the way to show them, as opposed to, this whole, like, you know, well, you got to figure it out because I had to go through all that. That's not growth. That's not pushing us to the next level of success and creating, you know, opportunities. Because, like, the bigger you get, the more people you have to hire and things of that nature. Why not do that for folks? So.
That's so true. That is so true, and I agree with that. But not everyone shares that same vision.
No, they don't. But, you know, if they don't, they don't.
That is so true too. You know, you can only do what you can do.
Exactly. How do you balance, like, the because as a business owner, especially with a service type industry, right, you are creative, I would say. How do you balance, like, you know, okay, if I want to add, because you said, like, you have 40 something or 45 packages.
Princess packages.
Yeah. So how do you balance the creativity versus the business side? Because you're receiving real-time information, you're seeing what sells and what people are gravitating towards. How do you balance that?
So I'm trying to understand your question.
Mm-hmm.
When you say balance, let's get a little bit more in detail when you say balance.
Well, you can't be creative all the time, right? Because you have to use some of your time to, like, propel the business and keep it going, right?
Now, see, when I tell you that I have the pink print
Mm-hmm.
in these books,
Mm-hmm.
these notebooks that I wrote,
Mm-hmm.
business-wise, now I'm gonna have to speak on what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
So, just give you an example. One of my party packages, the ultimate slumber party, where the girls can come check in at 7 p.m. and check out at 8 p.m. and they can sleep over.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the tent set up for the girls, different activities for the girls and their parent, and even a midnight movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's eventful and filled with activities for the girls to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate slumber party experience. So I say to say, that's one particular party package I have. And as a business owner, the other packages I have, if I decided I wanted to advertise that particular package,
Mm-hmm.
even though I have my business going on with bills restocking inventory,
Mm-hmm.
paying for advertisement,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, paying insurance on the
Mm-hmm.
business. And so making sure all of that is paid for. Then since I've already have these packages already literally blue/pink printed out,
Mm-hmm.
I think my business is a little different for me because I can just go to those notebooks and I'm gonna do this package. So it's not so much as me having to sit and
Mhm.
I think I'm answering your question correctly.
No, I get it.
Sit and think.
Your creative
what
side has already
kind of
been done.
creative
Uh-huh.
thing I can do? I can just go to my notebooks.
Yeah, you got like just like, businesses have, their books and stuff.
I
You
have
already
it.
have like a manual of something.
I have
that's already,
several.
Mhm.
And then I have my Excel spreadsheets.
Mhm.
And this is the stuff that I've done, like I said, within a course of years.
Mhm.
It's interesting speaking to you. I remember just being pregnant with my son, and he was born in 2020. So that means I was pregnant in 2019.
Mhm.
And as a pregnant woman, you can't sleep.
Mhm.
You have insomnia.
Mhm.
And so at night,
Mhm.
I would just get ice cream and get cookies and get all kind of desserts
Mhm.
and get my laptop.
Mhm.
And I'm just typing
Mhm.
on Microsoft, just typing different ideas, different party packages. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, that was a good idea I had last night. So, and it's like looking at even those packages,
Mhm.
from something simple as me eating cookies,
Mhm.
I created a cookie party.
Mhm.
And so detailed itinerary when
Mhm.
the girls check in, what would they do.
Mhm.
I even have the slogan. I even
Mhm.
have the colors. I
Mhm.
wrote down the decorations.
Mhm.
And that was in 2019.
Mhm.
And that was just one in 2019.
Mhm. So yeah, so you got everything going then. Okay. So ultimately, what do you think or what's your vision, like your overall vision?
My vision for Girls Days In is to be, of course, a bigger venue space
Mhm.
located here in the heart of Georgia, Macon,
Mhm.
not going anywhere else.
Mhm.
We don't need to keep going to Atlanta, to
Mhm.
Warner Robins, to
Mhm.
other places. Let's bring it here in our hometown.
Mhm.
We don't need to do that. I want to keep it here in Macon, have
Mhm.
it bigger. Of course, still the same rules apply.
Mhm.
Hashtag girls rule,
Mhm.
accommodating us ladies,
Mhm.
and of course our babies. And at some point, what I see for Girls Days In is being bigger than I could ever expect, being on a hotel scale. To where
Okay.
when they check in, it's
Mhm.
actually them checking into an actual place of such.
Yeah.
And having a huge conference room for the different things that us ladies can become,
Mhm.
whether it's a board meeting, whether it's a young entrepreneurship meeting,
Mhm.
a training,
Mhm.
and then for the boys, because I don't have, this is my first son, he's 1.
Mhm.
I've been a girl mom just about all my life.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what boys can do. I'm learning,
Mhm.
and
No,
I'm
they
so
do a
excited.
lot. They mess up some stuff too.
Yes, that I see. I'm excited about this journey of being a boy mom.
Mhm.
So the wonderful side of it is I'm writing with him.
Yeah.
I'm literally writing.
Mhm.
So when I see him do things,
Mhm.
I just write it down. And with that being said, who knows, by the time he's 1 now, by the time he turns 5, how many notebooks I'll have
Yeah.
and what I could do with the information inside.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go on this journey with my son.
Yeah.
Something I never thought I would be a boy mom.
Mhm.
And so I'm excited. So when the time comes to cross that bridge,
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what Girls Days In will offer for boys.
Mhm.
It's not going to be called Girls Days In for boys, but
Yeah.
it'll be some type of playoff of
Yeah.
Girls Days In for boys. But I just see Girls Days In being huge. I see it just being, like I said, that hotel experience for us ladies
Mhm.
here in Macon.
Mhm.
I see it, I breathe it,
Mhm.
I know we can have it.
Mhm.
And it's one thing to see a vision, but it's
Mhm.
another to breathe it
Mhm.
and see it. As I speak it into existence, I see it and I breathe. I can smell it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen.
That's what's up. That's what I love. Well, for everybody out there, let them know, where is Girl Days In located? How can they be reached via social media if they want to inquire? And if you got a business phone or anything, all that stuff.
I am located at 2257 Heath Road, Suite 3, here in Macon, Georgia, off of Thomaston Road. If you would like to check me out on my website, my web address is www.girlzdayzn.com. If you'd like to contact me via cell phone or house phone if you have one, the number is 478-370-1970. And again, my name is Crystal Moore, owner of Girlz Dayz In, and I thank you so much for just taking your time out your busy day to tune in to us. Have a great day.
All right, see, there y'all have it. Y'all support Girlz Dayz In, and that's Girls with a Z, Days with a Z, and N-I-N-N, like hotels and stuff. So y'all make sure y'all go and support, refer, and also if you have not, go ahead and download the Big Dog Radio Show app.
She ain't using. Baby, watch your step, cause it's a doozy. Money by the roll, it look like sushi. Passionate, infatuation, choosy. Graduate from every age of movie. Activate your appetite and lose it. Allocate your salivation to me. I got that shit that you want and she know. Yeah, why would I lie? Yeah, ain't nothing personal.